The Woman in the Yard, a new one from Blumhouse. The Woman in the Yard tells the story of a family, a mother and her 2 kids and her dog in a rural farmhouse. I'm not quite sure. I don't think they quite say where the setting is of this movie, but it's just out in the middle of a farmhouse, out in the middle of nowhere, like we've seen before. And they had just experienced a hard tragedy where the father figure of the family passed away, and now they're dealing with it. It's about a year afterwards, going through the motions. The mother of the family, the matriarch, is just trying to make things work. The kids are helping her the best they can. And one day they wake up and there's a woman dressed in all black with a black veil sitting in a chair out in their yard. Who is this woman? We don't know. We have a feeling that she is strongly tied to the matriarch character, but as we go on through the day, she gets closer and closer to the house. And as that goes on, things start to go awry and become way more intense. This is a movie where the acting in it definitely shines through. I like the lore of it. I gave it a 2.5. I think this is very middle of the road. Also, Blumhouse, one of Blumhouse's better movies, because that's not so much of a balancing act for me. So this one's more of one of their better movies. It reminds me in tone of like The Deliverance from last year, although I thought The Deliverance was a much better film. But this one was well done, whereas The Deliverance is sort of an urban setting. This is almost a rural setting, and the lores that go on with each of them. And I kind of dug that. Like you see in many movies and many horror movies where maybe more exorcisms happen in a rural setting. It happened in urban settings within movie world, and things like this where like it's ghosts or it's demons or stuff like that. And I'm not saying it's any one of those things. I'm not trying to give anything away, but it's just one of those things that kind of stands out to me as more of a rural setting, which is ironic because the book and the story that The Exorcist is based on what took place in a farmhouse. So that's kind of funny. But I will say this. I liked this movie. I thought the acting was really good. I thought there were some really good, intense horror scenes, and the imagery was very good. I would say check this movie out, especially if you're a horror fan. It's worth at least seeing. Now, with that being said, Paul, what did you think about The Woman in the Yard?
I was really pleasantly surprised by it, because after I saw the audience and Rotten Tomato score was closer to like 47, I was like, okay, it's kind of another Blumhouse womp, but let's go see it. I was pleasantly surprised. This one kind of reminded me of Lights Out, because I know Lights Out wasn't universally liked by most people, especially horror fans. But for me, I love something different like that. I liked how she could only come in the house if she could cast a shadow and things like that. So there are a lot of aspects that I was like, that's fun, that's different. And I enjoyed that almost cat and mouse, that kind of stress you feel where it's like you said, every time she gets closer, more shit's happening. Yeah. It's like, why are you getting closer? It almost reminded me of the Weeping Angels.
That's a great, I didn't even think about that correlation. That's a fantastic correlation.
And that freaks me out. I'm telling you, that Weeping Angels. So like this, I was like, oh, like stop moving closer to the house.
Even when you say that and you saw her sitting all the way out, like, because you see it in the poster right here, she's out by the road. And then there is that moment where, because they go and they confront her out in the road. It's not like she's just somebody out there and disappears when they walk up. The mom goes out and talks to her. Right. And it becomes very evident that this is way otherworldly than she believes it is. And as you go on through the day, they do it so subtly where all of a sudden now she's maybe 10 or 15 feet closer, then a little bit closer. And then she starts talking to the kids, and then the dog disappears. And it's like, but my only thing with this, I would say, is I felt the ending was a bit rushed.
Yes.
And then that's where I compared it sort of to The Deliverance from last year, where I thought that was a really good confrontation of being. So she had to confront herself to sort of get, because she's so traumatized and like burn that trauma. It's sort of similar with this and like what they're dealing with and where this being comes from. Again, I don't want to call it a monster or anything. I don't want to put that type of moniker on it, but that sort of being, like where it comes from. And I thought that ending deserved more, but I did like it. I didn't dislike the ending at all. I just thought it deserved more of that one-on-one confrontation.
Right.
Which you get, but just not in a way that I thought was satisfying.
No, not at all.
But I think it is, like I said, horror film wise, and especially for a Blumhouse movie, this is a pretty good one. Go check. And Paul agrees. I'm actually happy about that. I thought you weren't going to like it.
Yeah, I was surprised too. I thought I was going to hate it. I was like, well, whatever. But nah, I pleasantly was surprised by it.
All right. Well, I appreciate the review and appreciate you guys watching.